Well, I was telling these guys, she did cater to him, but she
Oh,
also,
she did.
what really aggravates me, she catered a lot to his brother.
Oh, yeah.
And it irritates me, because that guy, I mean, she catered to that guy. She'd take care of him better than she took care of my father.
She did.
Well, she looked after it. That's,
Oh,
well,
my
yeah.
God.
Oh, my dad.
I'm talking about Tony.
Oh.
She would.
Oh, yeah, she did. Yeah,
She
that's
would.
how she was with her
Not
family.
Uncle Jim, that's fine, but she took care of that guy.
I know.
Are you guys gonna go see him? Have
no.
fun.
I don't
No?
exist anymore.
See who?
Oh, you don't exist.
You're a disinherited?
Who?
Yeah,
Welcome
who's
to
right?
the club.
I don't have enough for Tony. Do you?
I'll tell you.
I disinherited him. He didn't have to do that to me.
Well, I did call him. You know,
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
I didn't talk to him, but I talked to Annelle.
Yeah.
And I said we were gonna be in town, and then I mentioned Jimmy, I said, well, Jimmy said he would take us up there. He wasn't, Uncle Tony was no.
Eat some more
Or he was
spinach.
doing
Come on. There's
some
more
errands or
beans,
something
there's
like that.
bread,
Very
tuna,
good.
finish
I'll tell you
up.
what,
So then
the
she
father
just said,
did
well,
that.
you know, Those are good. okay, I
Eat
got
some more.
some
Come
stuff
on.
in those,
Take them.
huh?
They're good with the bread.
Stuffed in.
No, you're not.
And I told him,
Eat.
I mean, he could get
Come
hold of
on,
me
take
if
them
he
up more
wants to.
tuna with that. Take some more
They're delicious.
Yeah, fried beans are good.
to me. And how I got back at him, when we wrote the obituary in the California paper, we were listing all the brothers, and we come down, and it was Tony's, and I said to him, leave his name off. So Jim says, what do you want? I says, leave his name out of the obituary. That was my final smack to him. I couldn't have done it while Uncle Jim was living, but, so I'm sure he noticed that. And so your mother called
Oh,
me,
you
and she
want
says,
some
she said, you left
Let's go.
Tony's name out. I says, it was
Jim.
intentional. I completely disinherited him that time. She said, well, we're going to put his name in the paper. I said, you do what you want. But I says, for me, it gave me a lot of satisfaction, and I know he know that I left his name out. He didn't deserve to be in there.
Well, last time he came, and my father was still pretty good shape.
Yeah.
He's going to be there 1 hour. Whoever wants to see him, see me. So then we said,
Like
hey,
a command performance.
if you want to, Uncle Tom,
Yeah.
we all went there. If,
Yeah.
if you want to get together,
Yeah.
before you
Yeah.
leave Uncle Tom.
Yeah.
No, I'm busy, and then he was with
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy Carspo, Uncle Sam's kids,
Oh.
which he never had nothing to do with.
I know. Well, all of a sudden.
So then they're going to the track here, and I said, well, okay, overlook that.
Yeah.
So then we were kind of communicating, and when
Yeah.
my father was losing his speech,
Yeah.
and I said, my father's losing his speech. He said, well, God's punished him, and because
You know-
he had a sharp tongue. I'm one like,
See, that's right up his
Is
alley.
that what he said?
did that piss me off?
No, it should.
So
He's
then,
calm. You
when
know-
we came here to California, these guys are saying, hey, should we go see him? I says, you want to go see him? You go. I'm not
Right.
going, no.
I mean,
So then he got mad, and then he calls me, and
tells you to.
it's good that he's here, because
You
there
know
would
what?
be a whole lot of trouble over there.
He can open up his mouth and
Yeah,
he used to
yeah.
say that he's going to pee on Uncle Jim's grave. He told
That's his biggest
he
problem.
told
is his mouth.
Dolly he's going to dance on Rosie's grave. I mean, when you say things like that, you never take them back.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. You have to be responsible.
You talked to Rosie?
That's just very ignorant.
Every day, probably.
There's something
Okay.
wrong with him.
I haven't talked to her
really.
in a couple weeks.
And when I first married Uncle Jim, he was one of my favorites. He was a little kid. He was the sweetest guy you ever wanted to know. And I just loved him. Between Sam and Angelo, he was always
I really
my
think
favorite.
he's kind of like, he's like manic depressive, or he's got, I mean, he's
Something
there's
is,
something wrong
yeah.
there.
He's up and down, yeah.
You know.
I'll never forget, your father and mother were staying, maybe it was just your dad, I forget. No, it was both of them. They were staying at my folks' house. And Uncle Tony says, hey, why don't you spend a few nights with me? So your dad said, all right, we'll come down. So he packs a little
Give
suitcase.
me more fava beans then.
I'm sitting in my mom's
Is it
kitchen,
deal?
I'm watching this. Carrie, you want five?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pass them down.
That's
There's
okay.
tuna too. Have
I'm
some
sitting in my
tuna. Have
mom's
some bread
kitchen.
with that,
You can see down the street toward
Don't
downtown.
finish it.
Uncle Carl walks down with this little suitcase.
I'll take a few more beans.
He disappears around the
Where's the
corner.
bread, honey?
I'm probably taking a sip of wine, a sip of beer. Next thing I look, he's coming back with the suitcase.
Uncle Tom?
No, your father.
Put that in the juice.
Oh.
Your father left my
yeah.
mother's house.
He walked down the street. Yeah.
He's going to spend a couple nights with Uncle Tony. He's got a little suitcase walking down
Oh,
the
I was
street.
there.
Were you there?
Then they come back.
We're sitting at the table. I turn around. He's coming right back. I said, what happened? Well, he started bad-mouthing Uncle Jim.
I know.
And the guy says,
He
what are
walked
you?
right out. They never even got in the house with the
Yeah,
suitcase.
my father loved his brother Jim to death, and if you talked about him, he
Well, that's exactly what happened. He walks in the door. Uncle Tony made some stupid remark like he always makes. But it was hilarious because while we watch him go and see him, remember Ross?
Yeah, I do. They
Yeah,
come
but
back with the
short
suitcase.
visit.
He never went in the house
Oh.
with
No,
the
and
suitcase.
your dad, in his later years when he was visiting a couple times, he took a lot from my dad too, because my dad got very belligerent as he got older.
Oh, no, he didn't. I
Well,
mean, Uncle
I
Carl?
don't know if he did.
no,
No,
my
I-
dad.
No, you said who
No,
took
he
him?
was to give
He
Uncle
loved
Carl
him.
a
He
little
called
bit.
him every Sunday
No.
morning. He had a call.
I know.
We had one,
But I mean, he understood the personality.
I'll tell you
He never
good.
got mad.
But
No,
I
they
think
didn't
when
get
my
mad
father
at
was
each other.
younger, he used to get mad at your father a lot.
But not in the
then
later
when they got
years.
older, because for him
They
to
both
come
could
here
kind of
and
say what
stay
they
for a
wanted,
Yeah,
but they wouldn't
exactly.
get mad at each
and
other.
take
And he
and
did.
stay here with you guys, my
He
father
did.
wouldn't do that for anybody.
Yeah.